Yes. So, see, governance is something which I am very much concentrated on right now. So, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence, like I said, it will do what you ask you to do, what you ask it to do, right? It doesn't have much of a moral sense unless you are using something like ChatGPT or something where the ChatGPT is again governed by the OpenAI company.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, brought to you by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm Tanayol, and today I'm genuinely looking forward to this conversation because we're joined by a leader who's seen the CRM world evolve over 2 decades and, more importantly, has helped shape that evolution. Mr. Nagarajan Palaniswamy, it's a real pleasure to have you with us, sir.
Yeah, it's my pleasure as well meeting you, and I'm really looking forward and excited to give this have this discussion with you and discuss more about my experience and also how the CRM and the AI space have evolved uh, over the years. Thank you.
We would love to hear about that, sir. And now, for our audience, when we talk about digital transformation, we often think of big ideas. But what really makes it work is deep technical vision combined with strategic thinking, and that's exactly what Mr. Nagarajan brings to the table. Whether it's designing complex Salesforce architectures, leading cross functional teams, or integrating AI into patient support systems, his work is all about creating impact at scale.
Yeah. So it was basically like I started as a developer like around 25 years ago, and from that time it has been all technology, and we have seen the technology evolve very much over these past 2 decades in which I have been here in the industry. And yeah, it's been an exciting journey. And digital transformation is all about, even though it sounds like a geeky or a nerdy thing, it's something which we have all gone through, right? So initially we had all those inland letters and postcards and envelopes, and then we moved to email, and
Yeah.
uh, and then we moved on to WhatsApp, and before that there were messengers, and then we moved on to WhatsApp. So this is an example of digital transformation which happened, in our daily lives.
Yeah.
And similarly, before we had to go to a phone booth and then talk, or now we have a mobile in which we just talk wherever we want, talk
Yeah.
about. So yeah, so these are all just examples of the digital transformation, and all of these were strategic. If you look into it's not a change that happened overnight. It was over the past decade, or it took a decade or 2 decades to come through this change. So
Yeah.
that's what digital transformation is all.
So you've had a rich and varied career, but we'd like to hear it from you about how it all began. Like, if you could take us back a little, what sparked your interest in this field, and how has the journey unfolded over the years?
So what sparked is like I was interested in getting into computer systems and programming, right from my college days, and I joined BE Electrical and Electronics, but I was not satisfied with that because I was more interested in computers. So I joined a course outside my college, and I went through that course, and I did that course for 4 years, which was almost like equivalent to my BE degree, right? So took the time out and did that. And then even when searching for jobs, even though I was getting good jobs in Tamil Nadu Electricity Board or something like the government job and all those things, but I was not interested in doing those things. I was more interested in getting into programming. So I got into programming, and once I started programming, it was like, okay, I can see the change that I can bring in. So I'm talking about 2000, 2001. And when I was studying, it was like 97, 98, 99. So in those years, even to see a small animation on the screen, it was so exciting to even see that, right? And when we were doing all those HTML and we were mostly used to the word processors and Excel sheets. But when we got into HTML and Java programming and started drawing all the graphics and those kind of things, it was really very very exciting to do that. So that is how my journey started, and then I went on to college, and from there I joined. Even when I was looking for a job, I was mostly looking for an IT job and got into hardware programming, and then into software programming, and then into CRM. analysis and those kind of things. Yeah, so it has been a very long journey for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and lovely to see that if you had interest in something, you give equal time to that in separate parallel studying, which is quite an effort at that point of time.
Yeah, it was because there was a constraint that I have to do BE only because of my mindset as well. I wanted to do a BE, but unfortunately, I was not the top of the grade to get whatever I want. So I took what I got, and then I tried to enhance it and
Yeah.
bring up to what I wanted to do. So that's how the journey started. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've seen CRM evolve right in front of you, from heavy legacy systems like Siebel to today's intelligent AI-driven Salesforce platforms. That's more than just a tech shift; it's a whole new world. So, at any point, did you feel the ground shifting beneath your feet? Like, what was the biggest mindset leap you had to make to stay ahead?
So I would not say it was a ground level shifting. It was like, completely everything changed. Not only the ground, even the skies, the trees, everything around you completely changed. Right. So I was working on Siebel. Many of the audience might know like Siebel is a on-premise CRM, which was uh, created by a company called Siebel, and then it was took over by Oracle. So it was an on-premise system. So it was like we had a lot of infrastructure dependency. We had to have the server in our company, and we have to have the database in our company. So it depends. So the budget was so high, and they could not miss out any of the features or anything, and then we cannot circle back to it and do it again. So it had to be a lot of analysis to be done and a lot of things to be done. And when we look at the scalability of the application, then we had to add a lot of infrastructure again. So it was a cycle, and it used to take a lot of time. So any civil project I have worked on went on for at least a year or year and a half or 2 years, a single project. And there was something called a Big Bang release, where you start doing from design analysis and then do your testing, and then at the end of doing all this for 2 years, then you go into production, and then you find something in production is not working properly because suddenly a million customers came and they placed an order or something that will break the infrastructure because we would have predicted maybe a 1 lakh customer or something like that. So these kind of issues used to happen. So when I moved from Siebel to Salesforce, or even to be precise, cloud-based technology, it was completely different. We didn't have the luxury of 1 year or 1.5 years, and everything was so agile. And even the requirements used to come like every month or every 3 months you have to finish some project so that the end client can start using it. And the advantage of all this cloud was that we were able to do some rapid prototyping, and we can demo to the client and ask them about the feedback, and then that becomes a requirement. And this is how the cycle goes on, right? So yeah, there was a lot of shift in the environment. Plus, there needed to be a lot of shift in the mindset as well, because you think slow and you can work at a leisure pace, but now it has become very fast paced, and that mindset was really required. And every month or every 1 month at least, you should be ready to talk to the client and get their requirements. uh, it's not like you get a list of requirements at the first, then you implement it and then show it to the client. So every month we show them a demo and get all those things done. Yeah, and also like there was something called as now all this become quick. All the development and product development has to become fast. As far as healthcare is concerned, then there should be some empathy in, because when you go to healthcare, there are some patients who are going to work on this application, who are going to use this application, and it should be like you should think from their point of view. Will they be able to click this here? Will they be able to click that here? Or I ask them 1,000 questions. Will they have the patience to answer all the 1,000 questions on the screen, right? So that kind of empathy thinking we have to do and try to break the modules and completely change the architecture of the application when you think from the user's point of view. So that's built over in all the other applications as well, right? Yeah, so that was a major mind shift which I had to go through, empathizing with the user.
Yeah.
which we already did, but we didn't have much chance to implement it immediately. But now we had more chance to implement it immediately because we will have quite a frequent interactions with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. Very well said, sir. And I think, anyways, everything has changed. Like you said, it's not just the ground; it is everything around that
exactly.
is changed, and we're changing faster than ever. And who knows where this goes, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It's going in the right direction, I would say,
As
because
long as that's
up
happening.
it's freeing up most of the human time to look at something high level.
Correct. Very true. So, working on patient support programs isn't just about tech, it's about people, real lives, and real impact. When the work you do can help someone access care or support, it truly changes things. I imagine it brings a different sense of responsibility. How does that human element shape the way you lead and build solutions?
Yeah, so like I said previously, like the empathy is most important there. So empathy is like putting yourself in their shoe and thinking about it. So initially, when I was a developer and all, we used to get all the requirements. Okay, so if this, then that. So just type the if condition, then give the message accordingly, and any optimizations can be done in that particular conditions. So that is what we used to think about, right? But when you go to the healthcare systems, it's entirely different. Like I said before, it's going to be the patients who are going to be using it. It might be the patients, or it might be some healthcare technicians, and they might not be too technical. If you put some technical jargons on the screen, they may not be able to understand it. And they could be working at different professions. That could be doctors, that could be nurses, or even people who work in the reception of a healthcare center. They might also be looking at. They don't have the same level of knowledge, right? So we should not put too many medical jargons on the screen so that the receptionist, when they look into the application, they don't understand it. So it has to be designed. The user interface has to be designed differently for different people. And when you add to that mix of patients, it depends on the level of severity the patient is facing, right? If they're facing a lot of physical discomfort, then definitely they will not be looking into the screen and be able to type for a long time, right? So they might even need to take someone's help and do it. And what the newer technology, modern technology has done it is like you can have voice as an interface. You can just talk to the system and the system will type it for you. So these are all good innovations which we can do in the healthcare systems. And yeah, it definitely gives you a mind shift again, like we discussed. So it definitely makes you think from the patient point of view. You are able to feel what they feel, and that gives a more personalized connection with the users, right? So that is how it is in healthcare. Yeah.
Very true, sir. I think if it's patient specific, that solves a lot of problem. If we ignore that, then one solution can never fit all, as they say, right?
Correct. Exactly. Yes.
So, with AI co-pilots like Einstein GPT entering the scene, roles like developers and business analysts are evolving rapidly. It's exciting, but for many, it's also a bit uncertain. You've seen both sides, tech and strategy, up close. So, what's your personal take on how these AI tools will really impact how these professionals work, think, and grow?
Okay. Let's say you're driving a car, right? And you have to concentrate on the road to drive the car, and you don't know where you're going, right? What would you do? You will have someone near your seat reading the map, right? I'm talking about my time reading the paper map. Now you have GPS. So either way, it's the same thing. It's just an assistant who helps you navigate the path while you concentrate on where you want to go, like riding without accidents, or riding without hitting bumps and those kind of things. So that is how I see the AIS. So they are not here to replace anyone completely, right? But AI will help us enhance our thinking. It will help us enhance our knowledge, and it will help us enhance our applications, right? So even if you think from a developer's point of view, someone has to develop the AI application, right? It's not a yeah. There may come a time down the line, like 15, 20 years, that the application may develop itself, but then we are talking about the Terminator level of science fiction, which might become true from whatever has happened now. But still, there has to be someone, like you saw in the Terminator movie itself. There has to be someone to control it. If not, it takes over, right? So the developer jobs or any other job is not going to be taken away immediately, right? But if you're looking at your career, the menial jobs, like, for example, you're reading from a script to the computer, to someone is calling you, and you attend the call and you read from your script, right? And you're not enhancing your knowledge. You're just going to read from the script for 1 or 2 months or 1 year or 2 years. Those kind of jobs are the jobs that could be taken over by AI, right? So, but even then, you cannot see it as a negative. That means it is pushing that person to do something more, right? Or it's pushing the company to do something more so that they can retain the employee and reskill the employee, and they can do something more at a higher level, right? So that is how I see AI is. It helps you in evolution because you have someone who will do your work without asking any questions to you, and you just tell them this is what I want. Somehow they do that work for you. At current stage, I'm saying that somehow they will find the knowledge to do that and give it to you. You check that work is correct or not, and then you implement it as per your requirements. And that's how you enhance yourself in knowledge as well as. Sometimes it even gives us some knowledge which we are not aware of, some design patterns which you have not heard of, some design patterns which are very new in the market, but you don't know how to implement it. You just say the AI, like, what is the latest design pattern in this and how can I implement it? And you don't have to waste your time writing all the boilerplate codes, right? So whenever, in C, we used to say hash include stdio.h. So that is going to be the first thing that always comes. In Java, it's going to be import all the packages, right? So all these type of code, you don't need to remember the package names. You don't need to remember all these things. In their place, you can remember, what logic was there, what requirement will do it, and what changes I can request so that I can enhance this requirement. So these kind of thinking will increase. So as far as I am concerned, a
True.
human's
Yeah.
cognitive ability will increase if you use AI.
Yeah. And over the years, also, I feel that technology has only helped remove redundancy more than anything else because people have advanced and move ahead with newer things and smarter ways to use technology.
Correct. Another analogy is, we had horse carts and bullock carts, and so what did those horse cart and bullock cart drivers do when cars came in, right? They definitely were, or let's say in Indian context, the autos came in, tricycles
Yeah,
came in, or even the cycle rickshaw came in instead of bullock carts. Instead of riding a bullock cart, they would have learned pedaling and balancing the cycle and rode
exactly.
it. Then when it went to motors, they would have, learned about how to accelerate, how to change gears and those kind of things. And now from three-wheeler, they upgrade to four-wheeler. They should know how to run the car and, look at the path where the car goes without scratching and all those things they have to learn, right? So it will help the person, upgrade their knowledge as the technology advances.
True. So, when someone's had a journey as rich and layered as yours, spanning deep tech, leadership, and impact, it's only natural to wonder what's next. So, is the boardroom something you see on the horizon, a space where you'd like to contribute at the strategic level?
Yes, definitely. Boardroom. See, for a tech person to be in a boardroom nowadays is more important than ever, right? So previously, it used to be about profits. It used to be about discussing the financial situations. It used to be about discussing, okay, how can I expand the business? But nowadays, even to expand the business, and most of the especially in the IT businesses or any business if you take nowadays, every business has a digital transformation component to it. If you go to banks, they are transforming digitally. They were using clunky websites. Now they have gone to modern websites, and they will want mobile applications, right? And now the mobile applications has to be AI, right? So when I talk to the, okay, tell me the balance, it should be able to tell me the balance with proper authentication and those kind of things. So these kind of ideas and technologies we need to implement. There should be a technical person in the board, is what I think. I mean, the person should not be purely technical. They should also know the strategies and the leadership and the innovation mindset. They should be with all these things, but they should have a diverse technology application, technology knowledge, so that they will know, like, okay, they can suggest these are things that we can use to expand, and this is the way we can try to increase our profits and those kind of things. So that's the reason I think technical knowledge is very much required on the board nowadays more than ever because of the AI transformation and the digital transformation. And yeah, definitely I'm looking forward to it if I have a chance, and definitely I'm looking forward to it and looking out for it.
Yeah, yeah, and makes complete sense that today data is key, and for any business, technology is what businesses today run on. So it becomes a much more important part of the board than ever before.
Definitely.
So, given your experience across tech and leadership, governance must play a meaningful role in how you operate. Today's it's less about ticking boxes and more about driving responsible innovation. How do you see corporate governance evolving in this fast-paced landscape, and is it a space you see yourself contributing to more actively going forward?
Yes. So, see, governance is something which I am very much concentrated on right now. So, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence, like I said, it will do what you ask you to do, what you ask it to do, right? It doesn't have much of a moral sense unless you are using something like ChatGPT or something where the ChatGPT is again governed by the OpenAI company. So that is why ChatGPT also will not give you any unethical answers. But you have a direct access to a LLM, right? And you are the person who are programming a ChatGPT like application. Then you can ask it anything; it's going to give you anything, right? So that is where the governance comes into picture. You can just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do it. Just because I can create an application doesn't mean that I should create that application. So I should think about what are the implications, what I can do or what I should do, right? It's more than like what I should do than what I can do. Can do, you can do anything. As long as you are a technical person who knows programming, you can develop any application. But should I develop that application? Is it for the good of the society, or is it for the good of the humanity, or is it going to cause a lot of issues to a lot of other people, right? So that is where the governance comes in. So governance actually will give you a framework, right? And those framework, and it will have a lot of legal compliance, ethical compliance, and moral compliances, right? So again, as I said, it's a framework. So that keeps that should be keeping on evolving with a lot of other inputs. And yes, of course, we are going to learn by making mistakes. So if you take the example of Amazon, also once created a, a job, some AI regarding some jobs, where it was biasing against women and going for the male employees, and they had to shut it down. Now they have learned about it and they are improved it a lot. So these kind of hiccups will come in between, and these kind of issues will come up. But there should be a governance framework, and all applications should go through the governance framework and through the governance committee and get their approval, and then it has to be released to the public. So governance, yes, it's very important, and I'm very much interested in governance as well. So that's what I'm working on currently.
Yeah, is the way forward. So you recently joined Directors Institute World Council of Directors, and we're so glad to have you as a part of the community. We would
Thank you.
love to know, sir, what has your experience been like so far, and has it added any new perspectives to your leadership or boardroom aspirations?
Definitely. So, like I said, in the past 2 or 2.5 decades, maybe minus the last 2 3 years, right? So I have been mostly concentrated on technology, right? So I've been mostly concentrated on technology, and I haven't thought much about the corporate governance or the corporate law, or that kind of aspects. What are all the things required for running a company? What are all the committees required for running a company? And how that committee should be proportioned, who should be part of the committee, who should not be part of the committee. So these kind of things were all like blank for me. I didn't even think from that perspective, right? So when I took this course, or when I joined this Directors Institute, and I have been interacting with the Directors Institute group, and it has been a very good learning for me. And I've gone through what are all the gaps which I feel like when I started on this AI governance and those kind of things. I need to learn about corporate governance first, corporate law, then only I can put in a robust AI governance. So it has helped me in all these things. What are the ethical things to do? What are the legal things to do? Ethical, okay, that may be inbuilt, but legal things, sometimes you think something is ethical, but it might not be legal, right?
True.
So though that kind of a clarity I got, and yes, it has helped me a lot to improve my strategy, and also improve my corporate knowledge. It's been quite an experience, and life-changing experience, I would say.
Thank you so much for this kind words, sir. This has been a rich and grounded conversation. From your early days in tech to leading with vision in AI and governance, it's clear your journey has been one of depth, adaptability, and purpose. So, thank you so much, sir. It's been a real pleasure sharing your experiences and getting to know what you have done throughout your life. We're glad to have you, sir. So, thank you for your time, your insights, and most of all, for leading with expertise and heart. To everyone tuning in, this is FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, and hope to see you all very, very soon. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, lead with intent, and have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.